I came to see what was wanted, madam.
Nobody asked you to come here.
I beg pardon, sir, but I answered the bell.
What do you mean, you blockhead?
I'm quite sure it rang.
I tell you, the bell did not ring.
Your butler is right, Mr. Chetwood. The bell did ring.
How do you know?
I rang it.
What do you want?
I want to send my card to Miss Faulkner.
What right have you to ring for servants and give orders in my house?
And what right have you to prevent my cards from reaching their destination? And how does it happen that you and this woman are resorting to trickery and deceit to prevent me from seeing Alice Faulkner? Through some trifling oversight, Judson, neither of the cards that I handed you has been delivered. See that this error does not occur again.
My orders.
Ah, you have orders.
Well,
You were told not to deliver my card.
What business is that of yours, I'd like to know?
I shall satisfy your curiosity on that point in a very short time.
Yes, and in a very short time, you'll find it isn't safe to meddle with me. It wouldn't be any trouble to throw you out into the street.
Quite possibly not, but trouble would swiftly follow such an experiment on your part.
It's a cursed lucky thing for you I'm not armed.
Yes, well, when Miss Faulkner comes down, you can go and arm yourself.
Arm myself? I'll call the police, and what's more, I'll do it now.
You will not do it now. You will remain precisely where you are until the young lady I came here to see has entered this room.
What makes you so sure of that?
Because you will infinitely prefer to avoid an investigation of your very suspicious conduct, Mr. James Larrabee. An investigation that will certainly take place if you or your wife presume further to interfere with my business. As for you, my man, it gives me great pleasure to recall the features of an old acquaintance. Your recent connection with the signing of another man's name to a small piece of paper has made your presence at headquarters much desired. You will either deliver that card to Miss Faulkner at once, or you sleep in the police station tonight. It is a matter of small consequence to me which you do.
Shall I go, sir?
Take up the card. It makes no difference to me.
Jim, if she comes down, he can't get them away from her.
If he does, Sid Prince is waiting for him outside.
A short time ago, you displayed an acute anxiety to leave the room. Pray do not let me detain you any longer.
This is Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
You wish to see me?
Very much indeed, Miss Faulkner, but I am sorry to see you are far from well.
Oh. No,
No, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, really, Miss Faulkner, but what does this mean?
Oh. Nothing.
Nothing. And the mark here on your neck, plainly showing the clutch of a man's fingers. Does that mean nothing also? It occurs to me I should like to have an explanation of this. Possibly you can furnish one, Mr. Larrabee.
How should I know?
It seems to have occurred in your house.
What if it did? You'd better understand it isn't healthy for you or anyone else to interfere with my business.
Ah, then it is your business. We have that much at least. Pray be seated, Miss Faulkner.
I don't know who you are, Mr. Holmes, or why you're here.
Oh, I shall be very glad indeed to explain. So far as my identity is concerned, you have my name and address, as well as the announcement of my profession on the card, which I observe you still hold, clasped tightly in the fingers of your left hand.
A detective?
Quite so. And my business is this. I have been consulted as to the possibility of obtaining from you certain letters and other things which are supposed to be in your possession. Things which I need not tell you are the source of the greatest anxiety.
It's quite true, Mr. Holmes, that I have such letters, but 'twill be impossible to get them from me. Others have tried and failed.
What others have or have not done can in no way affect my conduct, Miss Faulkner. I have come here frankly and directly to beg you, pity, forgive.
And there are some things, Mr. Holmes, beyond pity, beyond forgiveness.
There are other things that are not. I can assure you of the sincere penitence, the deep regret of the one who inflicted the injury, and of his earnest desire to make any reparation in his power.
How can reparation be made to the dead?
Ah, yes. How indeed. And by the very same token, Any injury you yourself may inflict can be no reparation, no satisfaction to the one no longer here. You will be acting for the living, not the dead. For your own satisfaction, Miss Faulkner. Your own gratification and your own revenge.
I know from this, and from other things that have happened, that a marriage is contemplated.
Yes, it is. It is quite true.
I cannot give up what I intend to do. There are things besides revenge, Mr. Holmes. There is punishment. If I can't communicate with the family to which this man proposes to ally himself in time to prevent the marriage, then punishment will come later. But you may be perfectly sure that it will come.
But, Miss...
There's nothing more to say. Good night, Mr. Holmes.
But, my dear Miss Faulkner, before you go... What's that? What's going on in your house?
Oh, Mr. Chetwood, a lamp fell off the table in the kitchen, sir. Everything down there is ablaze.
Hurry, Jimmy, the house is on fire!
Don't be alarmed, Miss Faulkner. There is no fire.
No fire?
The smoke was all I arranged for.
Arranged for? What does this mean, Mr. Holmes?
That I wanted this package of letters, Miss Faulkner. I will not take them, Miss Faulkner. As you doubtless realize, the alarm of fire was only to make you betray their hiding place, which you did. And I availed myself of that betrayal, as you see. But now that I witness your great distress, I find I cannot take them. Unless you can possibly change your mind and let me keep them of your own free will. No, I hardly supposed you could do that. I will therefore return them to you.
So, you've got them, have you? Now I suppose we're going to see you walk out of the house with them?
On the contrary, Mr. Larrabee, you are going to see me return these to their rightful owner.
Yes, I think that'll be the safest thing for Mr. Sherlock Holmes to do.
You flatter yourself, Mr. Larrabee. The reason I do not leave the house with this package of letters is not because of you or anything you may do or say or think or feel. It is solely on account of this young lady. I care that for you and your cheap bravado. Really. Miss Faulkner, permit me to return this to you. Should you ever change your mind, you have my address. In any event, rest assured there will be no more cruelty, no more persecution in this house. You are perfectly safe with your property now. For I shall arrange it that your faintest cry of distress will be heard. Good night, Miss Faulkner. As for you, sir, and you, madam, I beg you to remember that you continue your persecution of that young lady at your peril. Good evening.
He didn't get them, did he?
He gave them to her.
What? He found them and gave them to the girl? What are we waiting for? Now's our chance before she hides them again.
Wait, Sid.
Do you want to lose it?
No, you're right. It's all a cursed bluff.
No, Jim.
I tell you, we will. Now's our chance to get hold of it.
Well, I should say so.
What's that?
Someone at the door, I think, Judson.
I beg pardon, madam, but there's no one at the door.
That's all.
He's got us watched. What we've got to do now is leave it alone and let the Emperor have it.
You mean Professor Moriarty?
That's who I mean. Once let him get at it, and he'll settle with Holmes pretty quick. Meet me at Leary's tomorrow morning, 9 sharp. And don't you worry a minute. The professor will get at it before tomorrow night. He don't wait long neither. And when he strikes, it means death.